Self-limiting beliefs, part 3, where we're looking at examples of self-limiting beliefs in accordance to that moment that you start feeling like it's time to give up. I'm good at starting projects, but I can never follow through on them. I can't finish them. Have you thought about this before? Has it come in your mind? This video's for you. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. We've been establishing this connection of emotions to giving up and how we can work with our emotions through these 3 questions when we start feeling like giving up. If you haven't seen the whole series, I suggest you start with the video that asks the 3 questions or poses the 3 questions you should be asking, so that you can really get a handle on where we're going with it. I can start projects, but I can't finish projects. This is something I deal with people non-stop. Primarily because I know a lot of project managers who haven't been able to finish their projects. Also small business owners who continually strive to not achieve their full potential. And in yesterday's video, we talked about not following through this self-limiting belief where we can never follow through. I gave you 3 points on that, so that you can start analyzing and start moving forward. I'll link all those above. When we look at projects, however, and how self-limiting beliefs start up on projects, it's the same kind of thing, except more planning has to be done. Simply put. And if you're not planning on a project, you are destined to fail. Simply put. I just said simply put twice. Keep it in. There are 2 aspects to this self-limiting belief. One is that there is that tangible side of what you are doing on this project and seeing it to its completion. And the other side is the emotional one, where you're starting something new, something fresh. It's a project. And on that note, it comes close to you and your emotions of your abilities to achieve. Usually people will get involved with different aspects of projects, or they will be running a project. It's one or the other. When we are involved in a project, we have to ask ourselves, what are we required to do, and how do we need to attain those requirements? Simple. Thus, if no plan pops up, well, what do you think's gonna happen? You're not gonna be following through, and well, kind of blows up in our face. Now, in yesterday's video, we looked at the emotions, a lot about the emotions, where in this video, I want to look more at the planning and the timing that we're giving ourselves. We also talked in step 3 about accountability and how that all works. And I'm going to go a little bit more into that and give you some tips. Because we always give up on ourselves instead of focusing on being accountable. And when we do that, well, we start to allow the self-limiting belief to start up again. And it happens with every project people do. They'll start the project, they won't be accountable for the things they need to do. The fear pops in that they won't finish. The self-limiting belief backs it, starts the negative narrative, which turns into failure mentality, which sees a project stalled or never done or just ending. Step 1, it's being accountable on the plan you've made. If the plan is not working to what it needs to be done, it needs to be changed. It needs to be adjusted. It needs to be improved. We gotta look at it from a perspective of not a negative one that, hey, my plan sucks, but rather my plan needs tweaking. It needs to be better. It needs to be improved. It needs to get us moving in that right direction. And right now, it's not doing that. And I know people have been here where they go, well, my plan sucks and let's give up. Don't do that. Instead, look at what's working, what's not working, and then simply stop doing the things that's not giving you any movement forward. This could be something simple or something incredibly challenging. Difficult. We want to focus on making sure that the small changes are being effected first, so we're tweaking those first, and then jumping to the more difficult one. And why is this? Well, this is because those small things might improve the more challenging ones. And I'll give you an example on this. If I'm on a project to make videos, and if my workflow isn't doing me any good, and my big challenges are that my coloring's off, my sound is off. you name it. Well, there's a problem here. If I focus on the video's color, I can spend ages on that, never get it right. However, my workflow can cost me each day a lot of time. My goal when starting to do all the video work was to improve workflow. I need to make a video every day. I need to make content every day. I eventually need to package this and give it to an employee to start actually editing for me, doing the video work, doing the social media. I can't do this for the rest of my time. It's not doable, it's not productive, and I won't make money. And at the same time, I don't want them sitting there doing a workflow that's costing me money. I gotta make it efficient for them. So I focused on that. So instead of doing a video that will take me 4 or 5 hours, I improved the workflow, not focusing on color. The workflow. I got the workflow to come down drastically. And because of that, it gave me more time to work on the coloring, to work on the sound. If you go backwards in time on this channel, what you will find is that I went from having a super crappy video to a super good looking video. At least I think so. I'm where it's happy for me. You can judge me all you want. It's great for me. It looks great, and I've had nothing but great compliments on the color. Took 300 videos, but I did it. Point being that I could focus on the big thing only, but then I would be wasting so much time. I looked at what was critical to the plan of me being able to publish a video each and every day. Lastly, accountability comes back to factor, and accountability is critical here. This self-limiting belief of us not being able to finish projects, it's one that pops up when you are like always, it's similar to yesterday's video and following through, you're not always finishing projects, and when you're not always finishing projects, there is something stopping you from finishing, and usually it's an emotional state rather than the complexity of whatever you started. Now it could be that, in which case watch yesterday's video where we're talking about expectations and changing all of those. But most likely it's emotional, and that emotion is being really pushed forward, and this self-limiting belief is being pushed forward based on the lack of success and the lack of you being able to measure, get this, measure the level of success you're seeing. Because a lot of the times people will see success where it goes, you know, even though it's a little bit, they'll see it as a big win, but some people need to see this big jump. I don't know why I'm doing this on the camera, but they want to see this big jump. And the reality is that you're not going to have big jumps every day. We need to be really, really serious about this and realistic on it. You're not gonna see this every day. What you will see every day is these little wins that keep you going, and this is what we need to really focus on. By writing down all the things that you need to be accountable for and then matching those expectations or meeting those expectations, what is occurring is that you're seeing small progression occur. This progression is directly linked to you being accountable for what you need to be doing each and every day. As this occurs, well, the self-limiting belief starts to get tamed. It starts to get put in its place. It gets packed away and then eventually forgot it. Because you're actually running a project the way you need to. You're coming back to the basics of planning and executing and being accountable for it. A lot of the times that people come to me and they're like this, it's usually because they're not working with other people. When you're not working with other people, what ends up happening? You're not being accountable to anybody but yourself, and guess who you're really nice to? You got it, yourself. So take some time here and really ask yourself, where is the accountability? What has been happening with your successes, and what do you need to do to tweak to your plan in order to see that success? Start with the smaller goals and then increase the level of challenges that you're faced with so that you can deal with the bigger ones. Those bigger ones might seem very smaller after. And the last part of that is the psychology behind it. If you go tackle this big challenge that you have, well, two things are gonna happen. You're either gonna tackle it and win it, and then all of a sudden all these small problems become nothing for a limited time, or you're not gonna achieve the challenge of this big task, and then all these little ones, they're going to be 10 times bigger in our mind. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe. And of course, leave your comment below. Leave your story. What's worked, what hasn't. Because who knows, somebody might be reading your comment. It might help change a life overnight. And of course, if you are needing assistance, if you're needing help, if you need that person there to help you push through, we offer packages on coaching. We offer this so that we can help people move forward. It's not just our courses. We'll be releasing more courses, but take your time with figuring out what you need before you start reaching out, because if you watch most of these videos, you will see gains, you will see movement forward, and then you'll be able to really zone in on what you need help with. And that moment will come where you feel 10 times, 100 times better for doing all the legwork right at the beginning.
Snow here.